Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about domain range of word problems. So I only have two examples to show you, so it shouldn't take long today. First of all, we have talked about domain range. One thing I do want you to recall off your memory is remember our abbreviations of Dixie and Royd. And I'm refreshing your memory on this because if you remember, X is your domain, Y is your range. That's really what we're going to be using today. So, first thing, word problems. Of course, I made them up and used myself in them because why wouldn't I? So let's start off with it. Mr. Youngle has $150 to spend on a gym membership. The gym has a startup fee of $30 and it costs $15 more a month to continue. What equation could we use to represent this scenario, and what would be the domain and range? Finally, how many months could I afford? So, first thing we have to do is come up with an equation. Well, everything we've been learning has been linear, y equals mx plus b. We're going to try to keep it that way. So, let's come up with an equation. Well, it would be y equals. Now, I know the mx plus b part. I know that it's going to cost me $30 regardless of what happens. I have to pay a startup fee of 30, so that's automatically going to be plus 30. Now, the important part is it costs $15 a month or per month. And what that means is that $15 is what goes with our X value. So it's going to be $15 for every X or for every month. And I'm going to write that down. X is going to represent months. Y represents what? Well, if that represents the number of months, Y would be the total amount of money spent. Okay, so on that note, we want to come up with an accurate domain and range. For example, we already know, again, I'm going to make an XY chart because that's what domain and range is all about. And if you do this for every problem, it'll make your life a lot easier. So let's start off with it. X is my domain. Well, how many months can I work out? Let's be realistic. How many months could you work out? You could work out, people are like, you can work out for 1 month. Yeah, that's great. But you could also do less than that. How many months can you work out for? You can never work out. So that would be 0. You could realistically work out for no number of months. A lot of people do it. So if you do not ever work out, what happens? Well, if I plug in 0, function notation, right? If I said, what is f of 0, that would be function notation, meaning plug in 0 for x. 15 times 0 is 0, plus 30 is 30. So even if I do not ever work out, it would still cost me the startup fee of $30. Now, next, how many months could I work out after 0? Well, you could work out for 1 month. And if I worked out for 1 month, what would happen? Well, that would be $15 extra. So 15 times 1 is 15, plus 30 is 45. And again, X is my months, if you didn't catch that, and Y is my total spent. So we need to keep going with this until we're out of money. So 1 month goes by. 2 months goes by. That's another $15. 15 times 2 is 30, plus 30 is 60, correct? So let's just keep going with it. If I have, I'm just going to continue over here. 3, 4, 5. If I do it for 3 months, that would be $75. 4 months, that would be, what's that, 90? 5 months would be 105. Can I still afford to go? How much money do I have? Well, I have $150, so I got to keep on going. So that's 5. Let's do 6, 7, 8. So for 6 months, that would be what? 120, it looks like, right? Give or take, add $15 each time. That would be 135, and then this would be 150. That looks about right. Is that correct? 8 times 15. Let's double check. 8 times 15. That's going to be 120 plus 30 is 150. Perfect. And I'm out of money. So if you take a look at this problem, let's figure it out. What is the domain? Well, remember, domain is your what? Look up here. Domain is all of your x values. So my domain for this equation would be what? Well, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are all the number of months I could possibly work out. What is my range? Well, my range is all of the totals, which is going to be 30, 45, all the way to 150. It's all of your y values. Okay? That's all we're getting at is, could you work a negative number of months? No. So you should never have a domain of negative numbers. And that's really it. Can I work out for any more than 8 months? No, because that's $150 and that's all I had, which answers our question. How many months could he afford? I could only afford 8 months. Sad day. All right, let's try the next one, number 2. All right, the entire math class, which is 20 students, wants to eat at CiCi's Pizza. Well, if the school's taking them, it's going to cost $15 to actually drive the bus there, and it'll be $6 per person to eat. So what equation could we represent for this situation? And what is an accurate domain and range? Well, again, I'm starting with my y equals mx plus b. So my equation should say y equals, or the total equals, what's it going to be? So $15 to drive the bus, that's automatic. It doesn't matter if one person goes, 10 people go, automatically it's $15. So I have to add $15. Also, it's $6 per person. Per means it goes with our X. It can fluctuate. So it's $6 per person. And right when we write that in, it's $6 for what? X means what? The number of people. Y represents the total spent. You're going to see that pop up a lot. And it's good to know because some questions are going to ask you, what's the domain or what's the range? Well, the domain is people. The range is the total. That's it. Okay, so let's write an accurate domain and range. So again, X and Y. X again was number of people, and Y represented our total spent. Okay, so what's an accurate domain and range of this problem? Well, what would happen? How many number of people could go? Theoretically, we could have no students go, and all you have is the poor bus driver. So if nobody goes to eat, how much would it cost? Well, it would cost you $15 to drive the bus there. I don't know why they drive the bus there without people in it, but it happens. All right, maybe the bus driver was hungry. So you could have a total of, the smallest amount you could have is 0 people on the bus, minus the driver. Next, if you had one person on the bus that wanted to go eat, then that would be 6 times 1, which is 6, plus 15, which gives us 21. Okay, if 2 people were on the bus, it would cost what? 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 15 is 27. And you see this pattern, correct? So how many people can we put? We can plug in 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 all the way down. We can keep plugging this in all the way to, we said the total class is 20 students. We're not going to do that for sake of time. I think y'all can figure this out. So you would go all the way down to 20 students. Well, what's our total spent if there's 20 students? I don't know. Plug it in. What's 6 times 20? Well, that would be, what, 20 times 6 is 120? Plus 15, that would be $135. Okay. So It goes up $6 at a time, as you can notice, which is why your slope is 6. Fun facts. But it says, what equation could represent it? We found our equation. What's the domain and the range? Well, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 20 is an accurate domain. Your accurate range is 15, 21, 27, all the way to 6 at a time, all the way to 135. And that is it. Okay. Not designed to be difficult. Welcome back from Thanksgiving break. I hope y'all are doing great and looking forward to hearing from you. Remember, this Friday is the end of our 6 weeks, so try to wrap some things up. If you did not finish your project, please make sure you do so soon. Y'all have a good one.